Alright, what is going on, guys? Spiteful is back again, coming at you with a top 10 video, which is something that I haven't done throughout the year, but I've been wanting to do them. Anyways, let's just get into it. Now, we're going to go into the honorable mentions. These are characters that don't quite make the list, but I feel like I should talk about them anyways, just for the newer players who actually end up pulling these characters. And those characters are as follows. As of right now, we have Power Mayuri, who is a DR 20% link. And yeah, I know I put in the other Mayuri special. Okay, come on, let's be real here. It's probably still one of the best specials in the game. Respect Wayman, okay? So, going into it, next is Yin and Yang. Now, Yin and Yang is a very unique character. They can go from melee to ranged, along with the fact that they do have a Soul Reaper killer and high attack. They don't have poise, but I think that it's fine. I would really use them more for PvP, if anything. Followed by Kisuke. Now, Kisuke is very interesting. I personally don't like this character, but I can acknowledge that he's good, especially at autoing. Because of his 25% stamina recovery link and his high attack, and he's a ranged character, I think that he does very well in the role of being a power unit. Alright, and next we have Swimsuit Orihime, the wonderful milk sacks of justice. You know, like, honestly, I still think she has one of the most sensualized arts after Swimsuit Neliel. Something about K-Lab and Swimsuit characters, I don't know, man. I don't know. You do you, though. But anyways, she's a very good character. Ranged with a barrier on her second strong attack. She's a normal attack damage unit in general. She does have a full stamina damage boost link, which I personally dislike. But she does have Soul Reaper Killer, along with the fact that she has incredibly high stamina, 750 attack, 628 spiritual pressure. She can go hybrid if you really need her to. She does have a Berserker of 30%, a Bruiser of 40%. And like I said, with her being ranged and having a full screen third strong attack, you can't really go wrong with this character. I know a lot of people that use her for autoing, a lot of people that decide to use her for PvP, and overall she's just a very good value character. And next on the list, Halibut. So, this character is obviously an Espada. She does have a decreased damage reduction link, which is really, really good. Damage taken 16%. She's a power character, 762 attack, which is incredibly high. She does have a 50% bruiser, and with the DR, I think that she makes a very good, not only auto unit, but a good character for PvP. With Soul Reaper Killer, incredibly high stamina, 1047 stamina, and 620 spiritual pressure, 368 defense. I actually should make note of that defense, because that defense is incredibly, incredibly high. She does have paralysis on all of her attacks, including a debilitator of 5 seconds, which actually makes her quite insane. She does have multi-hits on all of her strong attacks, which honestly just makes her even better. She has paralysis resistance, which is kind of a throwaway ability for most of the content in the game. She does have a Berserker of 40%, but that 50% Bruiser really does nail in the fact that she should be used with chappies. She should be used in a more normal attack damage setting. That, and then they even went ahead and slapped poise on her, which honestly, for a character without flurry, that's really good. And I think that she's honestly one of the best power units in the game in terms of autoing and PvP. Alright, and next on the list, I'm gonna put Nemu. Now, Nemu does have a Soul Reaper Killer, and even though her stats are incredibly inferior to Halibut, she does have a stamina recovery link of 20%, along with a strong attack 2 that is a heal. And honestly, I think that just edges her. I think that just edges her out, in my opinion, in terms of viability, because she is a team healer and she pretty much keeps herself alive. She can auto inheritance zone. I still am one of the unfortunate that hasn't pulled her, nor do I plan to actually ever pay $30 for her, so that's something. She can go more hybrid if you'd like her to. Yeah, I mean, overall, she's just a really good value character. That, and look at that special. Alright, let's move on. Alright, now 7th on the list is something that people are going to be a little more surprised with. But for those that actually watch my videos, you understand exactly why he's here. And that's simply just because of his third strong attack. Alright, and 7th on the list, still one of the best characters in the game, 1000-Year Blood War Bankai Renji. Now, Bankai Renji is down here for a couple reasons, and I know a lot of people are going to be triggered with him being down here, but I rate characters with status ailments a lot higher than I do the others. Now, Bankai Renji is a Soul Reaper with a strong attack recharge link of 12%. He does have a Rankar killer, makes him incredibly useful in Inheritance Zone, Extreme Co-op, and Droplet Zone. Having a PvE killer is always good. He does have Frenzy, along with 751 Spiritual Pressure, 1059 Stamina, which is actually incredibly unheard of, and a 652 attack stat, which is incredibly high as well for a character with friends. Now he does have Havoc 20%, Long Reach 20%, but I do feel that his third strong attack hurts him because his first strong attack doesn't necessarily have crazy good range. His second strong attack has some really good range on it in my opinion. He deals massive amounts of damage, and his special has a 5% death probability per hit, which hits 8 times, so he actually has a pretty good chance of insta-killing his opponent during important points during a raid. But him not having status elements and him having a charged strong attack 3, I personally don't think that he's better than the units above on this list, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about as I discuss the other characters. But let's get on. Now 6th on the list, I do have Tag Team Yamamoto. Now I know that he has a charged strong attack, but listen, he has a Soul Reaper and Hollow Killer, 740 Spiritual Pressure with Frenzy, 1018 Stamina. He has good stats overall. He's completely immune to fire with 2 PvE killers, makes him one of the better units to actually do PvE content. From autoing Inheritance Zone to rocking Droplet Zone and Extreme Co-op, he's definitely one of the better units to go with, along with the fact that he's a range character, so he has some good survival probability built into him. He has burn on all of his attacks. With Frenzy, it gives him a higher probability of actually pulling that burn off with his normal and strong attacks, and his special is a full screen with burn, and he also has Debilitator, which makes his burn a lot more deadlier. He, like I said, with the fire resistance and his Debilitator and him having status elements on all of his attacks, for me, just edges him out as a more all-around better character than Bankai Renji. Now 5th on the list, I do have Rukia, and she is actually one of the better characters in the game as well. She does falter in the fact that she does have slow strong attacks, but I think that we can give her a little bit of leeway in terms of just like the raw power that she does possess. Now she does have 774 Spiritual Pressure with Frenzy. She does have a Debilitator of 2 seconds because she does have burn on all of her attacks. Now she does have burn probability on everything. With Frenzy, just makes it that much more probable, along with the fact that she is a range character as well. She's just overall a good character. Her strong attack 2 is an Attract Vortex, and she does have a full screen third strong attack, which in my opinion is incredibly useful. So yeah, I have to give that spot to Rukia. Alright, so 4th on the list. Now this is gonna cause a bit of controversy. 4th on the list, I'm giving it to Tag Team Ichigo. Tag Team Ichigo has been putting in work since his release. He is only a Soul Reaper. He is a strong attack damage link, along with the fact that he's a Soul Reaper and a Rankar killer, making him one of the best PvE units in the game. If not, well, I mean, he's not a PvP unit, but let's just be real here. Soul Reaper and a Rankar is literally every single character in the game for the most part, unless you're Yuaba. And he does sport 725 Spiritual Pressure. He came out a year and a half ago, guys. Like, this character he's still really good. He sports over 1,000 stamina, defense 363, which is pretty high actually. And then on top of that, he has long reach, he has havoc, he has a bruiser of 30%, he has frenzy, and then he has devastation on top of all that. His second strong attack is a 24-second cooldown enhanced vortex with 50 hits, which not many characters can say. On top of that, his strong attack 3, despite not it being full screen, he does have some good range on it. He's by far one of the best, if not the best, characters to use in Guild Quest. He also has a full screen special if you want to build him for that, and overall he's incredibly high valued of a character, and in my eyes he's still one of the best. Alright, now 3rd on the list, I'm gonna have to give this to Ulquiorra. Alright, so I guess the top 3 is probably no surprise to anyone, especially if you watch my videos. Now, 3rd on the list, I'm going to have to give it to 3rd Anniversary Ulquiorra. Still one of the best units in the game, and the only reason he's not above is because he just doesn't kill quicker. That's literally the only reason he's not above the other 2, and for those that know the game, y'all already know my top 2. So, alright, so Ulquiorra. Espada with a strong attack damage link of 25%, 769 spiritual pressure, 640 attack, 1057 stamina. Now this character was made to last with frenzy and devastation. He's just a powerhouse. And getting into what he can do, he does have a no affiliation killer, which is the only reason he is in third place. When they start coming out with more no affiliation rates, I'm sure he might get bumped up even further. But the problem is there's not really much no affiliation content, and even if there are no affiliation characters for like something like along the lines of Guild Quest, there's usually Hollows, Soul Reapers tossed into the mix. So bringing him along is usually not ideal unless, like I said, there are no affiliation characters. Now going into his attacks, he does have an incredibly good kit. He has Frenzy, he has Enhancer giving him a 20-second team buff along with a 30-second barrier to his team. Keep in mind that the barrier is not really that good for the team, but it is nice to have. Along with the fact that he has weakening on every other attack, including his normal attacks. He has a full screen special. He does have Poise, which makes him incredibly good for autoing. He's actually one of my go-to characters for autoing. With his buff, I actually slap on a gold chappy onto him with some DR links, and he really does go to town. His third strong attack is a charged strong attack. However, they didn't nerf the range of that third strong attack. The third strong attack, even uncharged, has some pretty good range on it. His first strong attack is just a regular lunge, but with Frenzy, the chances of actually weakening an opponent with his first or third strong attack is actually incredibly high. On top of all that, keep in mind that he does not have Debilitator, which is another reason why he's not higher up on the list. But with Frenzy, Enhancer, Poise, there's not really much to be wanting, honestly. And yeah, that's Ulquiorra. Alright, and second on the list, here we go. Alright, now don't get me wrong, I would love to slap him into the first position just because he's Aizen. However, he's rocking 782 spiritual pressure, 1053 stamina, 361 defense. Alright, so this character does have a hollow killer, which is why he is in the running against Toshiro too. And he also has Frenzy, Devastation of 40%, and a Debilitator of 5 seconds, with weakening on all of his attacks just makes him an absolute powerhouse. The Devastation 40%, honestly, with weakening on your special, is pretty much bombardment, in my opinion, in terms of the damage dealt. It's just massive amounts of damage for no reason. Well, yeah, there's a reason. There is a reason, but you know, it is pretty sick. Now he does have a freeze resistance of 100%, which is kind of a throwaway ability unless he's using it to auto, which, let's be real here, when there are hollow enemies, the hollow enemies that actually freeze you are usually the ones that kill you because they deal a lot of damage, and they also freeze you for about 5 seconds, which is really annoying. He does have a bruiser of 20%, his nat is absolutely usable, and then on top of all this, his strong attack 1 has some of the best range in the game. Second strong attack is a vortex, helps protect him as well, and his third strong attack is a full screen. So honestly, this character is just an absolute beast, and I can honestly say he's an absolute pleasure to actually have and to play with. Now going into the first character in the list, and one of the better characters in terms of usability. Like, this character is an absolute monster. Bankai Toshiro. If you told me that Toshiro would have been the best character for like well over a year, I would not have believed you. But honestly, with the way that KLab's been making these characters, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but these characters are made to last like forever, which is honestly kind of unheard of in a mobile game. But I have Toshiro, so I'm not complaining. 749 spiritual pressure, 638 attack, 1005 stamina. This character is still incredibly high powered, as you can see in the stats. Now I personally use this character to auto inheritance zone. When there are hollow bosses, I just slap a bunch of strong attack recharge on him, along with a Yugi Pupples and Captain's Robe, and he honestly just goes to town. Obviously, I bring backup characters, but he does the job fairly well. But him having a strong attack recharge link of 12%, along with Hollow Killer, makes him a good PvE character. He has some of the fastest activation times for his third strong attack, still one of the best SP characters for PvP. And then on top of all this, he does have Frenzy. He has a Debilitator of 5 seconds with Freeze on everything. I think Freeze is the best status ailment that you could possibly get, along with Stun. I think that those completely nullifying the ability of being able to ever take damage or get insta-killed or anything like that. I think that's huge in terms of PvP, in PvE, literally just throughout the entire game. He has a devastation of 40% with a weakened defense added on to his special, which honestly just makes his special a complete nuke. I actually have this character 4 out of 5 and nothing survives that thing. He does have Frenzy, obviously, with his spiritual pressure, and yeah, just the frenzy on the strong attacks with freeze, the probability of it is a lot higher. Along with the fact that he has the full screen third strong attack, a second strong attack with incredible range, and then a first strong attack lunge that propels him not only forward, but actually hits people from your side and from behind, which honestly, in my opinion, is kind of busted. And then all on top of that, he has a long reach at 20%. He doesn't have Bruiser, but the long reach, honestly, is not just unnecessary, but definitely helps him out when he actually has to use his NAD. Alright, so that's my top 10 power list, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you didn't, leave it in the comments below. Let me know who you guys think are the top 10. Like, I'll be reading all the comments as I usually do. And on top of that, I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all know this, guys. Grind on, catching up with me. Stay blessed. I wish you the best of luck in your summons. And yeah. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.